Hi students, welcome back to the video lecture of digital logic. We are discussing the fundamentals of Boolean function. We have already covered what are the basic postulates of Boolean function, how to use those basic postulates to prove some theorems. That means we have already covered what are the basic laws there and how to prove the theorems by using those basic laws and postulates. Today we are going to discuss what is actually a Boolean function, what are their canonical forms and how to minimize a Boolean function. So let us discuss what is Boolean function. Suppose I am writing here w equals to x plus y into z complement. So here this w can be called as, w is the Boolean function of variable x, y and z. So here we are using three variables, that is x, y and z, and by forming some expression we are calling the w as a function. The right side of this one is called as the expression, and these x, y, z we can call them as variable or we can call them as literals. So by using some literals and some operator, here we are using the plus, that means or operator, and the dot, that means the and operator. By using some operators, that may be your plus or your may be dot, that means or and not, and having some literals with us, we can form any expression that is called as w or any Boolean function. Or we can say this w is the w equals to function of which literal or which variable we are using. We are using x, y and z. So x, y and z. And here if we mention f of x, y, z, that means we can use any form, like the normal form is x or the complement form like x complement, or we can use the normal form of y or we can use the complement form of y, or we can use the complement form of z or normal form of z. But here in this example we are using the normal form of x, the normal form of y and the complement form of z. So this is what actually a Boolean function. Any function can be represented by function of the list of variables or list of literals that we are using in the expression. So let us see how to minimize a Boolean function. We have the basic postulates with us, we have the basic rules and theorems with us. Then by using those basic postulates or laws or theorems, we can minimize any function. So let us have some example. Suppose here the function 1 is x plus x complement into y. So what will be the minimization of this function f1? If we follow the distributive law here, so we can, you just have to mention what is the law or what is the basic postulate you are applying here. Here I am applying the distributive law, so you can write here from distributive law, and we can get x plus x complement into x plus y. This is what we have already covered in the distributive law. Now x plus x complement, this is what? This is the OR law. So from the OR law, we know that x plus x complement, any literal with its complement, when they are OR, then we will get a 1. So x plus x complement is what? 1 into x plus y. Now we can write it as x plus y into 1. This is what? This is from the commutative law. From the commutative law says a plus b equals to b plus a. So we can write here x plus y into 1 is what? From the commutative law. This is also 1 into x plus y. Now this is what? Something and 1. Something, when something will get multiplied with 1, then what will be the result? So from the AND law, we get it here as x plus y, because it will depend on this. If it is 0, then answer will be 0. If it is 1, the answer will be 1. So we have the function as x plus x complement into y. So while applying the distributive law, the OR law, the commutative law and the AND law, we are getting the minimized function as x plus y. So we can say f1 is also equals to x plus y. Okay. So this is the method how we can go for minimizing a function. So this is our second expression. We are having x complement y complement z plus x complement yz plus x into y complement. So let's minimize this by applying the basic postulates. So from the distributive law, if we will apply the distributive law in the first two term, then we can say, or we can take the common from here like x complement z and x complement z. So let's take the common. So x complement dot z dot, this is equals to what? Y complement plus y. Okay. And plus here is as like it is x into y complement. So again we are having the y complement plus y. So this is again the OR law. You can mention here. I am just skipping this, but you have to mention here from which law you are taking the assumption. So here x complement dot z complement, that is, this is what? Y complement plus y equals to what? 1. So plus x into y complement. Now this is what actually? X complement z complement into 1 plus x into y complement. So something into 1. So here we have to apply the AND law. We know that something into 1 equals to something. So here we can write it as x complement dot z complement plus x into y complement. Now we cannot minimize this more. So we have to left it here. So this is what we get: x complement y complement z, x complement y z plus x y complement. And after minimizing the function, we got x complement z complement plus x y complement. Like this, for any Boolean expression or any Boolean function you have given, you just use your basic knowledge about what is the basic postulates. So you can apply there and you just minimize the Boolean function. This is what we can minimize. So when you practice more, you will know how to minimize a Boolean function with a second. So this is what, how to minimize a Boolean function. So let's see how to obtain the complement of a function. If in general the function is f, then the complement of function is what? F complement. So we know that what is the De Morgan's theorem. So by applying a De Morgan's theorem into a function, as many times it is necessary, we can obtain the complement of that Boolean function. So let's see what is the generalized form of the De Morgan's theorem. So the De Morgan's theorem says, so the De Morgan's theorem is what? Suppose A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus up to suppose AN. So if we will go for complementing this expression, what we will get? We will get A1 complement dot A2 complement dot A3 complement dot AN complement. So this is the generalized form. And if we have the expression like A1 dot A2 dot A3 dot A4 up to AN, so while we will go for complementing this expression, we will get A complement plus A2 complement plus A3 complement plus A4 complement plus AN complement. So this is what actually the De Morgan's theorem. So when we will apply these theorems into an expression, we will get the complement of that function. And we have to remember, we have to apply this De Morgan's theorem as many times as it is necessary. Let's take some example and see how to obtain the complement of a function by applying the De Morgan's theorem there. Suppose the function here f1 equals to x complement dot y dot z complement plus x complement dot y complement dot z plus x into y into z complement. So this is what we are having the question as this. This is the expression and we have to complement this. That means we are going for x complement dot y dot z complement plus x complement dot y complement dot z plus x into y into z complement, and we are going for complementing the whole expression. So let's divide this into different terms. Suppose this one is our first term and we can call this as A1. This one is what? B1, and this one is suppose C1. These are the three terms, three different terms. If we just look into the generalized form, here what we are having, A1 plus B1 plus C1, so whole complement. Okay, A1 plus B1 plus C1's whole complement. So if we will apply the De Morgan's theorem there, what we will get? We will get here A1's complement dot B1's complement dot the C1's complement. So let's write this A1's complement. So what is the A1 here? X complement dot Y dot Z complements whole complement plus dot B1 complement, so X complement, Y complement dot Z's whole complement dot C1's complement, so the complement of X into Y into Z complements whole complement. Again, if we will divide this as different terms, suppose this one is A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3 and C3. So what is the form here? So here the form is A1 dot B1 dot C1's whole complement. So this will be what? A1's complement plus B1's complement plus C1's complement. So A1 is what? X complement. Okay. So A1's complement. That means A1 is what? X complement and its complement. So double complement of X plus B1 is what? Y. So Y's complement plus C1 is what? Z complement. So C1's complement. That means double complement. Like that, we will go here X double complement plus Y double complement plus Z complement dot X complement plus Y complement plus Z double complement. And once we will go for this, simplifying this, what we will get? X double complement. This is what? This is the same variable. That means here we can get the X plus Y complement plus double complement of Z is equals to Z. So here is the Z. That X double complement, that will be X plus Y double complement, that will be Y plus Z complement. Okay. So now here X complement plus Y complement plus Z's double complement, that is equivalent to Z. So this is the complement of this. You can go for dividing the terms. First we will divide the term as A1 plus B1 plus C1. Then we will apply the De Morgan's theorem, that means A1's complement dot B1's complement dot C1 complement. Then what we will get? Again we are dividing the term. This term will also divided into three terms, small a1, b1, c1, and this is what? This is a1 dot b1 dot c1's whole complement. And what is the De Morgan's theorem there? That means a1's complement plus b1's complement plus c1 complement, and we applied here. So by applying the De Morgan's theorem two times, we got the result as the complement of f1. So this is what? F1's complement. In this way, you can go for applying the De Morgan's theorem as many times it is necessary, and you can obtain the complement of that function. So let's see what are the different forms of a Boolean function. How we can go for representing the Boolean function in terms of addition or in terms of multiplication. This is what called as the canonical forms of Boolean function. So let's have a look into what are the canonical form of a Boolean function. If we take a variable, then what is the form of that variable? That means I am asking what are the possible combinations of bits there. So we are discussing the binary system actually. So any variable or any literal you can take, the variable may take the bit 1 or the bit 0. That means if we take any variable, that may be x, that may be y, that may be y, whatever it may be, it has two forms. If I will take x, then I can write the x complement or x. If x is 0, then it will be 1 and it will be 0. If x is 1, then x complement will be 0 and x will be 1. So this is what actually the basic things we should know. The variable can only take one of the two forms, and the two form is x complement or x. So this is the complement form, this is the normal form. Okay. So if we have two variables, suppose x and y, and we are going for the and terms, we are going for the and terms. So how many possible forms are there? There are two forms and we have two variables. We have two variables and we have only two forms, x complement, y and y complement. So what is the possible combinations there? So the possible combination is what? 2 to the power 2, that is 4 combination. Okay. If we will have 3 variables and we only have 2 forms, for any literal we have 2 forms. So how many possible combinations are? There will be 2 to the power 3, that means 8. If we have 4 variables, then we will have 2 to the power 4, that means 16 possible combinations. And if we have n variables, then we will have 2 to the power n possible combinations. So let's take the example. Suppose we have two variables x and y and we have to form the and terms. What are the possible and terms? Okay. So what will be the x complement dot y complement? X complement dot y, x dot y complement and x dot y. So these are the possible combinations for x and y. So these terms, these are actually what? These are the and terms. Okay. So these and terms is called as the main terms or standard product. This is what is called the main terms. When we will form some and terms of any variable, any number of variable, there may be 2 variables, there may be 3 variables, there may be n number of variables. So when we will go for and terms, forming the and terms of different variables, that term is known as the main term or standard product. Okay. So when we are talking about a variable, so how we could know what is this complement or this normal form will take? So for any variable, if it is x, we have 2 forms. First one is your normal form and second one is your complement form. Okay. So this normal form is called as on-prime form. And this complement form is known as prime form. We have to remember this. What is this on-prime form? That means we are having the normal form, and prime form means we are having the complement form. Okay. So now the question is, what is the primed and unprimed digit of a mean term? So for the mean term, the on-prime means it is 1, the prime means it is 0. The on-prime means it is 1 and the prime means it is 0. Okay. Suppose I am writing here x dot y. So x and y both are in the normal form. So if it is normal form, we can call them as on-prime form, and the digit is what? 1. So it will be 1, 1. Okay. If I am writing here x into y complement, so x is on prime form, so it is 1, and y is prime form, that means complement form. So complement form means what? 0. So 1 into 0. Okay. So if we have suppose 3 variable x dot y dot z complement. So what is the digit for x, y and z? X is the on prime form, so it is 1. Y is also on prime, means normal form, so it is 1. And z complement is the normal form, so it is prime form, so it is 0. 1, 1, 0. Like that we have also the max term. So what is the max term here? When we will go for forming the OR terms. If we have two variable x and y and we are going to form the OR terms, then what are the possible combinations there? X plus y, x plus y complement, x complement plus y and x complement plus y complement. So this is what actually the max term. Okay. So in case of max term, the normal form means the normal form will take the value of 0 and the complement form will take the value of 1. Okay. Suppose I am writing here x complement plus y complement. So the complement means what? 1. So here the value is 1 plus 1. If I am writing here x plus y complement, so here is what? The normal form. The normal form will take 0 and the complement form will take 1, 0 plus 1. So this is what actually the max term. So let's draw the truth table for the min term and max term. For having two variables with us, and it is your duty, you just have the truth table having 3 and 4th variable. So we are having two variable x and y. Then we will go for forming the min terms, and for that min term we will have a column as term and another column as designation. Also we will go for forming the max term, and for the max term we will have also the term and designation. Okay. So what is the possible combinations of x, y in form of 0, 1, 1? So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. Now how to form the min terms? By using the AND operator. So when we will go for this means what actually? 0 dot 0. So 0 means what? We have already discussed. When we are talking about the min term, 0 means it's the complement form. So we can write here as x complement dot y complement. X is 0, so it is the complement form x complement. Y is also 0, so y will also y complement. Now 0, 1. So here is the complement form, here is the normal form. So x complement dot y. 1, 0. So here is the normal form x and here is the complement y complement. Both are 1. That means both are in normal form. So x into y. So what about the designation? Designation is, in case of min term, we are representing by using the small m. And the digit is the decimal of this. 0, 0. So what is the decimal value? That is 0. So here is m0. Next, what is the decimal value here? 1. So this is m1. This is 2. So m2. And this is 3. So m3. Okay. Now forming the term max term. So max term, how max term will be formed? By using the OR operator. So we will go for using the plus operator there. Now the question is, what is the form of 0 and 1? In case of min term, 0 is the complement and 1 is the normal. In case of max term, that is different, that is opposite. The 0 is the normal form and 1 is the complement form. So here both are 0, that means both are in normal form. So x plus y. Here 0, 1, x will be 0, that means normal form. So x plus y is 1, that means complement form. So y complement. Next 1, 0. Okay. So 1, 0 means 1 is for x, that means complement form. So x complement plus 0, that means what? Y. Next 1, 1, both are 1, that means both are in complement form. So we can write x complement plus y complement. Now what is the designation of the max term? Like the min term is representing by the small m, the max term will represented by the capital M. So we can here write capital M. And as digits are the same, what is the decimal value of x, y? that will be the digit of the designation of the max term. So it will be M0, this one is M1, M2 and this one is M3. Okay. So this is what actually the min term and max term having two variable x and y. You can take the third variable as z and you can complete the table. Okay. You have to remember, in case of min term, the complement form is 0 and the normal form is 1. But in case of max term, the complement form is 1, the normal form is 0. This is what actually the canonical forms of Boolean function. And when we will go for adding these terms, this is what? These are the products, and when we will go for adding these terms, that will called as sum of product, SOP. Sum of product. When we will go for adding the products, the min terms, and when we will go for multiplying the max terms, these are the sums, and when we will go for multiply or having the products of these, that will be called as product of sum. So what is sum of product, what is product of sum, how to represent the function in terms of SOP and POS, we will go for the next class. Keep watching our video, stay home, stay safe, thank you.